Mini Matters, a miniature painting podcast.
Hey guys, I'm Lionel and thanks for joining me today as I take a quick look at the Warhammer preview that dropped yesterday and react to my initial thoughts at looking at it. Just to put some context, in my painting journey at the moment, I've mostly been painting larger miniatures. That's because I find them an easier canvas to practice on and learn from. That being said, like most people, I've got a soft spot for GW. I grew up with it, and as a result, I'm always interested to see what they've got on offer and see if there's any particular sculpts that might pull me back into painting those models. So with that being said, let's dive in, let's have a look. I've got the website up here. Like I said, even though it dropped yesterday, I've not looked at it or tried to avoid spoilers as best as I can, so that way I can react genuinely to what I see. So scrolling down, the first thing that I can see on here is it appears to be a campaign book. Now, my focus on the video today will be primarily on sculpts and models because that's where my interest is. I don't really play anymore. I don't game anymore. So as a result, I'm not going to be able to offer much insight into that. There are going to be other YouTubers or bloggers who can give a better insight to that. So I'm going to skip over the rules parts as I go through the reaction. That being said, I am going to comment on artwork if I see it, because I do think artwork is a great draw if you're a painter. Something in which you can focus on the imagery, look at the use of colour, look at the use of brushstroke and placement of colour and lighting. So I think that's useful as a painter to look at. So obviously the first codex that's popped up, which seems to have been revealed, is the Drukhari Codex, which I believe is what they're now calling, is it Dark Eldar or Dark Eldar. So the artwork is nice. I like the use of the colour. There's a nice orange, yellow, stroke blue complementary game going on there. So yeah, I do like that piece of artwork. I do think GW's artwork has really become has improved a lot quite recently, to the point where I would consider hanging their art up, obviously in my hobby room, not somewhere else in the house. But that's a nice piece of artwork. I'm now seeing rules, which I'm going to skip over because like I said, I'm not a gamer. And then obviously the next piece of artwork, which is actually very nice, is the Dark Angel one, which appears to be on their front cover for their codex. Striking piece of art. I do like it. The Dark Angels anyway always cut a very good presence because of just the way that they are in terms of the robes and that medieval Knights of Camelot sort of presence that they have. Not gonna say too much about this. It's just a nice piece of artwork, and no doubt people are more interested in what's between the covers. So I'm going to skip over that. The next reveal, and now looks like I'm getting my first look at some models, seems to be the Necromunda one, the House of the Artifice. Now, I know that they've released all the rules for the various houses within main rule books, and now what they seem to be doing is releasing supplements whereby you can support or add to your existing force using these supplements, and I think that's what this is. That being said, I'm going to jump straight to the sculpts and take a look at what I've got here first initially. And these appear to be Vanzar sculpts. They're very nice, actually. So looking at it, we appear to have some Vanzar on, I suppose, Hobgoblin or Green Goblin floating surfboards. That's obviously not the right terminology, and I'm probably going to get crucified for this in the comments, but I'm just taking it from what I can see the influences. Once again, painted up fantastically by the heavy metal team, as is always the way. I do like the Vanzar's colour scheme. I do like the strong turquoises that they use, and obviously that's been offset now with the kind of yellow orange golds that they put in. Sculpts are very nice. I've got to say, I did play Necromunda a long time ago, when I was younger, and I don't believe this sort of stuff was out then. It was more of a small scale skirmish game, which I believe it still is now, but it looks like they seem to be pushing the boundaries into making it a larger game with more varied components, which is interesting. I do like these two chaps here. I'll bring the images up on the screen in the post edit. They obviously have a nice presence about them. Once again, nice sculpts. They do what they do in terms of the silhouette. You can tell what they are. You can tell that the Vans are straight away, and that's really what you want from a model. You want a strong identifiable piece, so that when you look at it, you know what house it belongs to, or what army, or what faction it belongs to. The nice pieces. I think once again, I'm not too fussed about the sculpts. I'm not too excited about the sculpts, but actually the paint jobs that the heavy metal team have done on this is probably what's making the sculpts jump out a bit more for me. I do really like that use of turquoise. It's a strong saturated colour, and yeah, they've done a great job as usual on that. So that's the Necromunda. If you're interested in that, hopefully that's something for you. The next reveal appears to be a Middleearth one, and it appears to be one of the Treeman, or Treebeard, which I believe was one of the named characters in the film, and is probably a named character in the game Treebeard from the Lord of the Rings films. It's a nice sculpt, actually. I quite like it. It's probably not what I would normally go for, but it's characterful. You can clearly identify who it is from the film, and ideally that's what you want from a Lord of the Rings sculpt. But yeah, I do like it, actually. They've recently done a Treeman for Blood Bowl, which I didn't like at all. I didn't like how squat it was, how it seemed to be quite childlike in its imagery, but I do like this one. This is actually very nice, and depending on the scale of it, I'm not too sure how big it is. It would probably make for a better Treeman for my Blood Bowl team. But yeah, normally I don't like this sort of I would. It's probably not old Hammer, but it's certainly got throwbacks to that. But I do genuinely like this sculpt. Actually, it's not what I expected. Most of the Lord of the Rings stuff I don't really enjoy, because I don't enjoy that universe too much. So I'm surprised actually at how much I do like this sculpt. It's a very nice piece. Might be something that I might like to paint, actually. And then it appears that you've got two more sculpts here of Merry and Pippin, which are the hobbits from the film, and they're nice sculpts, but like I said, because I'm not into the background and the lore, I'm probably not going to jump up and pick these. And obviously, moving back to 28mm scale in painting, I think the last thing I want to do is paint a hobbit, which is a lot smaller, and I believe the Lord of the Rings scale is smaller than the normal standard 28mm as well. So these are going to be very small miniatures. So if you've got good eyes and a steady hand, these are probably two for you to try your hand at. Okay, so the next one, or the next reveal, appears to be from Warhammer Underworlds, the Diachasm expansion, which they revealed in the last reveal, and now we seem to be getting some more bands for them. Now, once again, this is something that does interest me, because my gaming group and I are looking to get back into gaming, but obviously we don't want to paint large scale armies, so we're looking at skirmish games, and obviously Warhammer Underworlds I think has got a great aesthetic. You're looking at painting probably about 4 to 5 models in order to get into the game, which suits me fine. And like I said, I do like the setting, and I do like the whole aesthetic and the way it's been presented. So I'll be interested to see what these are. So these are, and once again I apologise because these names aren't user friendly in terms of pronunciation. Gargras Ravagers, I think it's Gargras Ravagers. And then what we appear to have is they look like they've got chaos iconography. So they look like they're chaos warriors. And I can see, if I can get this working, I can see what appears to be 3 members. So you've got a female chaos warrior, which I'm happy to see. They're trying something new. I don't think there are any female chaos warriors to date, so it's nice to see that. At least I think it's female. It could be a male with a top knot, but with that sculpt, with the cheekbones and the way they've done that, I think that's intentionally a female Chaos Warrior, so that's nice to see. Another fairly standard Chaos Warrior sculpt, and then what appears to be a Sorcerer, which once again is an original sculpt, but it's a slightly different take to one that I think is already available in the main game system for Age of Sigmar. So yeah, it's nice. It's probably not the warband I would like to see. It's interesting, but it's reasonably bland in the sense that it's another Chaos Warrior warband. That being said, I do like the leader. I do like the female sculpt a lot. The next thing is something called Path to Access, or Excess, which appears to be one of Slanesh's favourite champions is getting a makeover. So let's see who this chap is. Sigvald. Right. Okay. So is it? I thought that. Oh right. Okay. Sorry. The reason I'm reacting is I'm looking at this and I thought, well, that's an old sculpt. I'm sure, unless they've released it in a different material. But yes, they are intentionally showing the old sculpt, and then further down they reveal the new take on it, which is very nice. Yeah, I like this one a lot, actually. Yeah, I like it a lot. The sword is a lot longer. I know it sounds silly to say, comment on the size of the sword, but the sword is a lot longer where it appears to be than you would do in the sculpts they've done before. He cuts a presence. He's got a Blood Angel vibe going on there. They've obviously painted it in the non-metallic metal. I do like the addition of the horns, which I don't think were present in the last one. I love the silhouette. I like the cape and the way that they've done that in order to frame the piece. So as a result, by painting it purple and having the cape flowing so far behind him, it kind of frames the flowing hair, and it frames the overall face, which you should be drawing your attention to. So they've managed to carry over the tropes from the original figure, but obviously update it with more detail. Yeah, I really like it. I mean, once again, the heavy metal team have done a fantastic job of painting this up, but I do really like the sculpt, actually. I am playing around with non-metallic metal to a certain degree with differing success, not as well as some of the painters out there are doing, but I'm doing it in my own special way, or my own little way. So this is of interest to me. It might be a model that I would like to pick up, and it's very difficult to tell from the photos in terms of how big they are in scale, but he appears to be slightly larger than a standard miniature, so as a result there's probably a bigger surface to play on there, which I'm interested in. So from a painter's perspective, I'm interested in this model. I think it's a great piece. Yeah, really well sculpted. I really like that, actually. And then thankfully or helpfully they've got some close-ups here as well, which I'll try and bring up on screen in the post-edit, off it in different angles, and it's brilliant, actually. The more I look at it, the more I like it. It's a extremely well sculpted piece. Great character. You've got that quiet arrogance that you expect that character to have, that they've managed to convey in the face. And there's a silent presence, or a silent threat in the manner which he's walking. He's quietly confident in his ability. So they've captured some great character in this sculpt, and I think it's a really nice piece, actually. I am tempted for the first time in a while to probably pick up a GW piece and have a look at it. That being said, I am hearing rumours around the internet that there is possibly a Dante upgraded sculpt coming soon, with the Blood Angel release, obviously being Primarised up, so he's going to be larger and a new sculpt. If those rumours come to fruition and that is really going to happen, that's probably the model that I'm going to dive into first, and has got my interest. But that being said, if that doesn't happen, come about, this is probably the model that I am going to pick up. I do really like this, actually, purely just to paint, because obviously I don't game, and particularly I don't game in the Age of Sigmar universe. So it'd be nice to pick him up as an isolated purchase. Okay, moving down, we've got some more actually. These appear to be elves. Well, they look like elves, dark elves, I presume. Siberish twin souls. Okay, so these appear to be Slaanesh warriors, which appear to be coming with this main character release as well. So, if you have a Chaos Army of a Slaanesh persuasion, you can then add these to your army. They're okay. They're not doing anything for me, to be honest, in terms of what they've done. That being said, I do feel sorry for them following that previous image, because that's once again, it's a brilliant piece. So sadly for them, they've popped up onto my feed after that, and they're not probably having the impact that they would have had they popped up earlier on. So yeah, I suppose if you run a Slaanesh army, this is nice, because obviously you've got some specific warriors now that you can use, which separate from the standard warriors, rank and file warriors you can get. That being said, from a painter's point of view, there's nothing there that I'm going to jump out and want to buy or encourage me to pick up the brush and paint them. And that appears to be the end of it. Okay, so mostly it appeared to be books and codexes, but there have been a few model releases there for you. The standouts for me are Treebeard, which is surprising actually. One, I hadn't expected there to be a Lord of the Rings release with this. When it said Decadence and Decay, for some reason I just assumed it was going to be 40k and Age of Sigmar with a Slaanesh persuasion. So that surprised me. And the second surprise is that it's actually one of my top 2 picks, because I don't enjoy Lord of the Rings at all, and I don't enjoy the aesthetic. And I don't think I've ever found a model that I do like and that I would want to paint, but this is the first one that I would do. So that surprised me. So that's my pick. And then obviously my standout pick, and I think the fact that it's towards the end of the reveal shows that it's their standout pick as well, is obviously the new sculpt for this individual who's on your screen now, Sigvald. It's a very nice piece, yeah, and I'm tempted to pick this up and have a go. Okay, so that's it. That brings us to the end of the reveal. What did you guys think of it? Let me know in the comments below. What's your standout pieces today? Do you agree with my picks? Is there anything that you yourself prefer and think is a better reveal? Are you disappointed in anything, or is there anything that you're disappointed that you thought would be released today or revealed today and that hasn't, and what was that? Once again, guys, if you do like this content, please take time to subscribe, comment in the comments below, and like the video. It really helps us out. And also take a look around the channel. There's more that we do. Obviously this is the first time I've done this kind of reaction and review of a Warhammer preview. That being said, we've got some interviews with some great artists on the channel, so take a look at those. We've got some painting tutorials, and we've got some other discussions whereby I sit down with Jamie and we talk about general discussions such as what's key in the hobby at the moment, and what we find interesting on the internet at the moment. So take a look around and see if there's anything there. Thanks for joining me on this reveal, guys, and my reaction. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.